Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of SYNLAB Podcast. I believe you're following us on all social media handles at SYNLAB NG. And please leave your comments, like, and follow us for more interesting content. And before, at our last episode, Dr. Owoeye, we were discussing SYNLAB's commitment to excellence and all the things and the processes we're putting in place. And there's something you said that was interesting, and I want us to look at it before we move on to other questions in this episode. You pointed out the culture, people, and process as part of the things that endears SYNLAB to you. And then we asked our customers to send in their feedback. And let me just read this feedback before we continue, because we discussed about people. This feedback says, I feel attached to your staff, Oluchi. I was satisfied with her welcome attitude and good manners. And the other one, this is from Owerri. Then another client from Ibadan says the appearance and cleanliness of the staff, the extraction was painless, the information provided before or during the visit was apt, the kindness and friendliness of the staff was beautiful. I mean, these are really beautiful feedback from customers in different branches, and it speaks to what you say about staff. Can we look at the people and process again quickly? Can you just put us through what you were thinking about the people and process? I mean, the culture. Did you say culture?
Yes,
and
I did. I said
discuss people,
culture.
so the culture and process.
Yeah. The culture. Let me start with the process. The process, laboratory process. You can be divided into the pre-analytical, analytical, and the post-analytical processes. But then, SYNLAB, from the processes I've witnessed in SYNLAB over the years, it shows a sustained commitment to international standards.
I like that, sustained.
Yeah. So right from the pre-analytical process, I'm very sure the recommendation by one of the customers actually just summarized it all. From the phlebotomist, Cuba professionals. In what they do, and then we have these constant, training all the time, to fill in the gaps that we notice, at every point in time. You don't get to see that in many places in Nigeria. Whenever we actually notice a gap, we organize trainings and retrainings, for it. And people are committed to it. People don't see it as, someone is trying to call them out for not knowing, what, they're supposed to do. So, and for me, that's beautiful. That's wonderful to see. I've not seen that anywhere, that I've worked earlier.
Thank you so much. I'll ask Unyime, because you've been area operations manager and you manage over 50 staff members. And this must be a lot of work. And it speaks to also people. How are you, as that sector manager, how are you part of, what are the measures you're putting in place to be able to maintain this standard of excellence?
Okay. To continue from where Dr. Owoeye stopped, SYNLAB, we are so big on people, getting the right people, making sure the right protocols and processes are followed. So it first starts with the people. Do they have the required knowledge to carry out the job? And definitely they do. Any staff working in SYNLAB has the required knowledge to do what he or she is supposed to do. So as he said, every on a quarterly basis or at intervals, we get to, have this appraisal session with our staff to know what they think about the organization, what they think about even us, the leaders. And wherever there are gaps, like he mentioned, we come back, sit down, review, the appraisal outcomes, and put strategies in place to bridge this gap. So we keep striving for excellence. And it starts with the people. If we can get it right with the people, which we have in SYNLAB, then you get it right with the processes. You get it right with the outcome, the result you give out to your client. So it actually, for me, it actually starts with the people. Excellence with the people.
Fantastic. Dr. Anthony, I just want to keep calling you Dr. Anthony. When it comes to process, because of course, working at the microbiology lab, I mean, I don't even like that role. I feel like I'm going to just constantly be in touch with pathogens and germs and all of that. Of course, I mean, you have to put in a lot of things in place to ensure that what you're taking care of do not come to you.
Definitely.
So what do you think about the processes of SYNLAB that makes it what it is? What is going on in your lab with your people? And obviously you're managing all these people to ensure that the outcome are consistent. Like he says, sustained commitment to excellence.
Yeah, one thing I can say about our processes is that they are intense and rigorous, and it's what every member of staff has to follow through to be sure that they always arrive at the same results each and every time.
Okay.
So we work with what we call our SOPs, our standard operating procedures.
Okay.
And these are updated and are meant to be in line. They are always in line with our international standards.
Okay.
So alongside the processes, we also make sure that we have the right equipment to work. I've been to lots of labs in other countries and I've seen what they work with there. And we use these instruments for giving out our results.
Yes.
And we don't just bring them and put them to use, like how I've heard some other people do. We make sure that they give us the required standards that the manufacturer sets them by series of validations that they must go through before we can start using those things.
That's fantastic. I'm really impressed, and I hope our viewers are watching this and, are taking clues. Back to you, Unyime. I really want to talk about technological advancements because obviously for us to continue to, churn out these accurate results every time and ensure that we are doing the best for our customers and being at par with international best practice. What's your take on SYNLAB's commitment to technological advancement and how is SYNLAB leveraging technology to be able to, of course, meet the customers' needs and expectations?
Thank you, Judith. SYNLAB Nigeria is actually, should I say, a forerunner. I'll call SYNLAB Nigeria a forerunner when it comes to technological advancement in the medical lab space.
Okay.
Because in SYNLAB, we try as much as possible to limit the interference of humans in our processes.
Okay.
So we have what we call, our laboratory information system. We have that a client walks in, your details, data, the test you requested is being logged into our laboratory information system.
Okay.
And like Tony mentioned earlier on, our equipment are all connected to the same laboratory information system. So when a scientist programs a sample to run, the result is being transmitted directly from the machine to the laboratory information system. The result, the pathologist in his office gets to see the result, validates it, and the client does not have to walk into our facility to get a hard copy of their result.
Fantastic.
We have a portal called the Part Provider. So in the comfort of your home, you log in with your unique username and ID, password, and you get to see your result. So SYNLAB is really big on when it comes to technology innovation. And just recently, I was speaking with a family friend of mine, and we were actually talking about innovation. I know that's one of our core values. We'll come to that.
Yes.
And I told a friend of mine that SYNLAB, even when it comes down to even the tests we offer, we've gone far ahead of a lot of our competitors in the same industry. SYNLAB offers certain genetic-based tests. Like we have the NutriHealth, my PGX. This has to do with the person's genetic makeup. It's the result that is got from this test is specific to that individual. Maybe Dr. Owoeye might want to throw more light on this innovation SYNLAB has come up with.
That's fantastic. And so that's it for technological advancements. I really love the fact that patients are able to assess their results. So there's no going and coming back and all of those. And also to speak to it, we also have in SYNLAB the interface that allows even partner diagnostic centers to even get their results in real time. And of course, able to issue out to their patients. And of course, I also am particular about SYNLAB being patient-centric. And I'm sure that in your role as the operations manager, you're able to ensure that this process is seen to the end. We're seeing all the fantastic feedback from. In fact, let me read one more. This is from Lekki Lab. It says, the appearance and cleanliness of the staff is top-notch. How I could easily assess my results was fantastic. I was good to get messages prompting me to check my result. I believe the person wants to say that I got messages prompting me to check my result. Obviously, when the results are ready, they get prompts. Including a direct link. Good service overall, easy and fast. So now let's talk about what your team are putting in place to ensure that we are patient-centric. So can you speak to SYNLAB being patient-centric?
Okay. SYNLAB, being in business, it's all about the patient. Without the patient, we we wouldn't be in business. So whatever we do, it has to do. That's why we have the feedback system, where we get to listen to what our patients say about us. After having the customer experience, coming to use our services, we are so big on that. We want to hear what they think. So we embrace, should I say, both the good and the bad towards the patients.
Well, that's fantastic. I hope our listeners are enjoying this episode. I hope you're following us on all social media handles and you're commenting and liking. We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching.